All right, so the next thing we're going to go over, we're going to be still in the same spot in KvCORE and BoldTrails. We're going to look at market reports. And this is a little bit simpler than other things. So market reports is only 3 sections. So you're still in your KvCORE, it's lead engine, squeeze page, or BoldTrails. You click on lead engine, put in your domain and go to squeeze page, IDX squeeze page at the top, market report. There's only 3 areas. So I'm going to just stay in Bernie today. So I'm going to do Bernie. Now you can see it lets you pick a city. Make sure you don't pick neighborhood. Market reports try to sneaky put the neighborhoods at the top. Go to the bottom and pick cities. Everything else puts cities at the top except for market report. So make sure you pick city.
You talk about the area?
Yep. Make sure it's not a neighborhood. There won't be enough data in a neighborhood. And then source, just keep it simple. I put Facebook. And then if you want to put a hashtag, you can. I'm just doing MR for market report _ Bernie. And then I'm going to generate the link. Now with a market report, once you go ahead and it makes you sign in, even if you're already a client, don't worry about it. It'll still make you sign in. Just sign it in real quick. And then once you sign in, you hit continue with email. And then it will build up your market report for you.
Where was all that at?
Once you copy the link and post it, that's what it does.
Copy which link?
Okay, you haven't gotten to that part.
Right here, you got to make sure in market report, build those 3 buttons and hit generate link. And then copy and paste the link in there. Mine's getting mad for some reason. Yeah, let me try Google it.
Under hashtags?
You can just leave it blank. You don't have to put anything. It's up to you. Okay. I'm trying to say 0, so let me try it again. I'm going to try it again for the market report link and maybe signing, which I did. Then I got mad. There it is. Okay. So you have to have an area, and that's all you have to have. And then hit generate link, and it's going to generate the link.
I've got that.
Copy one of these links, the direct or short. On the far right, once you copy a link, open a new tab and paste it in there, and paste your link in the new tab. Okay. And then we're under market reports in BoldTrails or KvCORE. So again, all you have to really do is put an area and then generate. If you want to put source and hashtag, you can. And make sure you pick city, not neighborhood. Okay, and I'm going to open a new tab and paste it in there. It will make you sign in, so just sign yourself in real quick as a client. It makes you do that. Don't worry about it. Once you sign yourself in, it's going to show you a market report.
Sign into
Your own KvCORE or BoldTrails. It'll make you sign in when you paste a market report. See that? Okay. Once you're in and you have your report, the way you read it, like this is for Bernie. Remember, the market report is the last 30 days on the market. So it doesn't show the active, it shows 30 days ago. So I recommend you can have a setting which you have set up automatically. If someone wants a market report, send it out every 28 days. And you can do that automatically. And we turned that on yesterday with your KvCORE or BoldTrails. That's already going to happen as long as you're looking at a home or an area. But for them to read it and to look at it, you're going to look at a couple things. You're going to look at days on market. You're going to look at average home price, average sold price, and then price reductions and sold to list ratio. Now, some brokers only have 1 line instead of 2 down here, and that's fine too. Just depends how your KvCORE or BoldTrails is set up. Okay. So I can look at this. So if I'm sitting down with someone looking to sell their home in Bernie, I can look at this right here and say, all right, so the average days in Bernie is 123 days. That's the average days in Bernie, 123 days, and that's gone up. So in Bernie, it's going to take, more about 6 months and almost 6 months, 6 to 8 months probably to sell a home, because it's a more expensive home. It takes a little longer usually. And then the average home price is $848, but the average sold price is $554.
What a drop.
That's a huge drop. So people are not spending $800,000-900,000 hardly as much in Bernie anymore because the home prices. Like we have a neighbor down there right across on our back ends touch. Their home was listed for almost $800,000. They sold it for $560 because they just said we just need to sell it to move on. They just gave up their equity just to sell it. So that is affecting a lot of places in our area right now in Bernie, because we're seeing that because people are now like they're dropping the price radically because they want to get it just sold and try to do that. But the other interesting thing is that the people who have their home in the market that people aren't buying, they're not doing any price reductions. It's gone down, which means they haven't done any price reductions, 25% less in the last 30 days. People are sitting on the market waiting to see what happens. Everyone's saying, well, we'll do some difference in the new year. Everyone's waiting for the new year in our area. So you can see that by reading that right here. Now, the sold to list ratio, so that people are being smart and listing their home less expensive. So in the last month, it's gone up 30% almost. So 3 of the 98 homes that sold in the last month, or the last area they're taking the data from, 3 of those sold for the same price they listed them at. So they listed them at a good price, and then it got sold. So what you can look at reading this, you can see in Bernie, if you want to sell a home right now, or if you're sitting down with your client, if they don't list it at the price that it's worth, if they overprice it, it's not going to sell. It's going to be sitting in the market for a very long time. People aren't willing to pay overpricing right now in this neighborhood anyway. That's why you have a market report different for every city or area. Because our area, they're not going to pay. They're going to get a cheaper price. It's more of a buyer's market right there, not a seller's market as much. And then if you don't, but the sellers are not reducing price. They're like, sorry, you have to wait for New Year's or we're going to see what happens. So it's a very interesting market there in Bernie to see what happens. Okay. That's how you read a market report. And it's very simple. I recommend highly printing this off, taking it with you to a listing presentation when you do your listings, and then and then present that. So I'm just opening my website real quick. I'm going to show you the other thing I use it for. I'm going to go to the bottom and grab the areas we cover, like we showed you on the other videos, how to add your areas. I'm going to grab Bernie. I'm going to open up the most popular home. So the other thing, I'll do a video for this. This is an easy way to do a video once a month. So pick your area on the 1st of the month. So December 1st, you would do a video to talk about the market in November, because it's the last 30 days. And I like to pop this up like this. I'll walk through it like we just did, explain the market. Then I go to the bottom of my website and open up Bernie. And then I'll walk through showing about how the town, what happened. I show the graph. I talk about all this, go through all these numbers, show everyone what's happening. And then after that, I show a walkthrough virtually like this of the most popular home in the market. And we walk through it virtually and we talk about how beautiful it is. And then they can check out all these pictures and we can tour the home together virtually in the video. And then what do you have at the bottom of your YouTube video? You have 3 links. One link is to the market report, because remember, once you make a link, a squeeze page, it lasts forever. So in your video, you have a link to the market report. You have a link to the bottom of your website section right here that talks about that. You just put this link in there. And the other link is the single property squeeze page for this property. And you have all 3 of those links at the bottom of your video in the description. And then anyone watching your video who wants to wants to click on it, can click on it and check it out, but then you catch them as a lead. So this is an easy way to get more leads by just doing this video and posting it. Okay, and the video only ends up, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see them in there. Real Estate Training, Andrew Morin. And the videos are in there. Very simple. You just watch the video. You can copy the stuff that I've done on my other market reports. I have a bunch in there. Pull up the market report, just kind of check it out, read it, you're good to go, and you can move on from there. And it's only an 8 or 10 minute video, really short. Plenty of time. If it's too long, no one's going to watch the whole thing. So I keep it short and sweet. I keep it under 10, 15 minutes. People who want to learn about the market will watch it, listen to you talk about it, and then go from there. It adds a little difference that way. Okay, so that's your market reports and how to use them. I'm going to close those down. And now we're going to go back to KvCORE or BoldTrails. Okay, if you're in KvCORE, you're going to expand the 3 lines in the top left, go to lead engine, build landing page. If you're in BoldTrails, you're going to click lead engine. And where it says landing page, you're going to pick your domain and then hit start building. And both of those are going to open up the lady's face. Okay, everyone have that open. So again, BoldTrails, click lead engine. And where it says landing page, click your domain, put your name in there, and then click start building, and this will open up.
I'm not seeing landing.
Click lead engine,
I did.
and you'll see it landing pages right there. And then you see it says your domain. Click on the domain and pick your name. And then underneath that. And then after you pick your domain, start building. And it should open up this picture with this lady's face on. Okay, so once you have your landing page open, in the top left, it has all the different options we can do when we build landing pages. So the first one says lead generation. That's where we are now. If you open that, the next one, that's a good one to look at, is view lead or video and lead. If you have a new listing or if you have a video for an open house, you can put this in here and you can play the video about your lead, about your home, and then they can ask for more information. So this is a way to advertise your upcoming properties. After that, it says text lead. This would be people would text you a code, like new home, whatever. So you could put here, like new home, whatever. And then you could do, and then they would text you that, and it would go to your smart number, and it would come as a text lead in your KvCORE. So you could do something like what's keeping you from, reach out to me and I'll have a discussion. I have government grants, whatever you want to target for your type of client you're looking for. You leave a message, and then it could, instead of new home, you could put free money. And then when they reach out, hey, do you want free government grants to help you pay your closing costs for down payment? We have up to 5% available for the end of the year. And then they would text you free money to that number, and it would start a conversation about government grants or whatever. Something like that is how you would use that. And that's the way you can get people to text you and have a text conversation through KvCORE. They don't realize it's coming through KvCORE, but it's an easy way to get people to link. People are very comfortable texting. They have no issue, though. They can just block you if they don't like you and hit unsubscribe. So then they're very willing to do that usually. It works very good. The other thing after text lead is address capture. We'll build one of these ourselves together today to practice with a seller squeeze page. And then you look at Facebook chat. So this would be if someone, like this is where I did my, tell me what you pay in rent, and I'll send you a list of homes for that same name. They could just chat with me, and I get all the messages, everybody telling what they're paying in rent. And then I would just put together multi-property squeeze pages of homes for that price, if there's any, and send it back to them. And then if not, I can say what? Well, you don't, for $500 a month, obviously, you're not going to find, you might find a condo, probably not though. That's like a condo fee these days. So that wouldn't be usable. But when I did that, I had some people who were paying $2,500, $3,000, $1,800, $2,100. There was a lot of, I was like, holy cow, some of them were really high. I was surprised. And that's what people, they never thought about buying until we had that conversation. So by doing that, it lets you have that conversation and talk to them about buying like that. Okay, so that's something you can do there. And that's why you'd be the chat with me button. That's how that works. But we're going to go to the top left and start it with lead generation. We're going to build a basic one, kind of like a buyer one, and then we'll do a seller. What type of buyer would you guys like to cover? We can keep it simple.
Somebody
What's
who
that?
lives in an apartment?
Okay, so a renter to buyer.
Yeah.
Okay, so a renter to buyer, why are they not renting? Why are they not buying? You got to think. Put yourself on the ideal of the client. What pain or need are we going to overcome? Down payment's a big one. Exactly. That's the biggest one usually, or credit. Those are the two biggest ones, credit and down payment for first-time home buyers usually, or interest rate. So which one of those do you want to try to answer?
The down payment,
Okay.
they're having.
Money for down, okay? So what are we going to offer them? We have government grants, right?
Mhm.
So if the average home price is about $300,000, most people take 4% government grants on average. They have some at 5%, but they run out of money at 5% really quick. So we're usually at 4%. So if the average home price is 300,000, we usually have about 12 to 13,000 in government grants that someone can get and not have to pay back if they keep their home for at least 3 years. Most of them they forgive at that point. Okay. So then I would say I would do my message would be something talking about that. So then right here for the hashtag, I'm going to do renter to buyer because that's what we're doing, renter to buyer. And then for the submit button, you could do learn more, whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to keep it simple and put learn more here. Okay, so I have my hashtag. So when you build landing pages, before I forget, you want to start in the top left. You want to work your way across and you want to go down. Okay, so we're doing hashtag, but then you see right here, it changed to learn more down here.
So the hashtag, does it have to be all continuous?
It does. You can't have a space. They're really anal about it. Yep. And you want it all to be together. And then for the URL, this is where they're going to go after they click learn more. It can just go to your website if you don't put anything there. But what I like to do is I like to go to that Excel sheet we built earlier, and I get that link of all the homes in San Antonio. So they can start looking at a bunch of homes. And then I put that right here. Okay.
To the Excel sheet.
The Excel sheet that we made that big massive link earlier. I take that link and I copy it and put it right here. Yep. Okay.
Click on require phone.
I always require the phone. It's up to you, but I think if they're not willing to give the phone number, they're not serious. So I always require the phone number, but that's up to you. Okay. And then you require the phone. For background, I like to pick anyone. I'm happy as a cute one with a family and pets. Modern's a nice one with the hardwood floors. That's pretty. I don't do villa because first-time home buyers wouldn't be able to afford this house. So that's too nice. I don't do anything to make them feel like you lied to me. Yep. So I'll probably do like happy or kitchen. Kitchen's a really pretty kitchen. That could be in a first-time home buyer for a new home. I'll stick with happy for right now, but either one of those work. Whichever kind of looks good to you. I'll just pick a background. Now, lead type, of course, it's a buyer. Don't hit save yet. We want to do save later. Okay, so lead type is a buyer. Where it has your broker symbol, and you see it's kind of dark and hard to see, I double click on it and hit OK and get rid of it. We're going to put it down below in a different spot. We're going to mention our broker later.
That whole big thing?
Yeah, double click on it and hit OK. And then it's gone. And then we have room to put our message. Now down here below, if you double click down below, the whole thing's going to vanish. So you have to click once and then highlight it and then overwrite it or delete it or whatever you want to do.
Your town.
Yep, your town real estate is. We're going to put our message in here, right? So we're going to talk about government grants. We have up to, I'll say up to 13,000 in government grants. Can you say up to, just in case they don't get the full 13, you say up to, so you let them know it might be below that.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's a $200,000 home, it'll only be 8,000. So I'm going to say, okay, I'll say first time home buyers can qualify for up to 13,000 in government grants.
If should be
First, am I looking for?
of government grant.
Oh, thank you. If you're a government grant. So of government grants.
So then they deleted that.
You double click the bottom or you deleted what?
That the smaller bar that you have had.
You can't get it back. If it's gone, that's why you got to be real careful. It's really finicky. If you double click, it's gone. And you can't do anything about it.
So click once.
You just click once and then highlight it. You have to start over if you want to add anything in there. I know it sucks, but that's the way it is. It's just you have to deal with it. The landing pages are a pain in the butt. They take a lot of practice. And then I'm going to say most grants are forgiven in 3 years. Because not all, but most of them are. I'm going to say 3 years, and I'll just leave 3 years because they are. I'm going to say forgiven in full. I don't want to put too much data, too much knowledge, but I want to put enough so they're willing to click. And then all these white check marks underneath, I'm going to double click on all these white check marks underneath and get rid of all those sections. I want my message to be nice and short and sweet and very simple. Okay, and then at the bottom, I'm going to put courtesy of eXp Realty. And have it in there. Okay.
And highlight. And then type in.
Highlight, yeah, and then type over or delete. So first-time home buyers can qualify for up to $13,000 of government grants. I'm going to say in government grants, not of. Yeah, in government grants. Most grants are forgiven in full after 3 years. That's fine. That's a simple, good message. And then if I like it, which I do, I'm going to go to the top right and hit save. And then, okay, once you save it, you can't change it. So make sure you like it before you save it. Okay. After I save it, I'm going to go to the top and grab that URL, that www, go back to my Excel sheet, make sure I'm on the landing page tab, and drop that in my Excel sheet in my landing pages so that I know right where it is.
Up here where I have my. This one,
Yep. Click on that and copy. That's your URL. Yep.
my
Okay.
own domain.
Just click it. It'll open up and then copy it.
I see it.
Okay.
Copy and I go back to the.
And go to the Excel sheet and make sure you're at the bottom tab under landing pages and paste it in there under G copied link. And this way you can keep it without having to log all the way into your KvCORE to try to find it. It's right there ready for you to copy, share it, paste it, whatever you want to do. Okay.
And woman. Okay. So I copied the link and then I.
And then if you want to add the pieces after, I like to know what it is, so I had to fill it in, but
Gotcha.
as long as you have the link saved, you know that it's there. And you can always click on it and check it out, whatever it is. So did you finish your landing page?
It hasn't saved it yet.
Yeah, go make sure you hit save. Okay. Okay. And then you can copy that link at the top and put in your Excel sheet. Okay, the other thing you can do once you have your landing page built and saved, in the top left, you can click on that green button once you've saved it, and you can instantly share it to Facebook or social media this way. If I go right here to Facebook and drop it in, if I get it to work, here it is. I can just pop it right there.
And
Done.
that's because you have it, like, I don't have Facebook, so.
So yours, you could do
I
a
don't see
different one.
anything.
Yeah, if you don't have any connection here,
Right.
you won't see anything. So click on that green button
Oh,
and then it expands.
have it all, but okay.
So, and then if I want to put it on Pinterest, I can do the same thing. You just drop it on Pinterest. You just have to pick the pin and that's it. And then you just do it, et cetera, et cetera. And you can share it to anywhere you want to share it for these 4 places. Twitter, LinkedIn, all that, or X, whatever they call it.
After I have it into the Excel.
So go back to the actual page, and then the top left, you'll see that green button. If you click on that green button, it lets you publish it instantly to these places. See that?
Yes.
And then all you do, I just highlight the wording, copy it, and then I just paste to those pages if I want. But now that you have it saved, you can come here and you can paste it around to all the different places. Okay. So now I'm going to close this landing page we just built out because I already have it saved.
The dog, he's going away.
Yep, the dog's going away. I'm going to close this out and go back to my BoldTrails or KvCORE. Again, KvCORE lead engine build landing page. BoldTrails, click lead engine. Where it says landing page, pick your domain and then pick start building. And either way, we'll open it back up. The same way you did to start the other one. Okay, so everyone open a new lead engine or BoldTrail landing page. And we're going to do a seller one now. So the other one we did was a buyer. Now we're going to do a seller.
Same steps.
Except a little different. Yeah, and then BoldTrails, lead engine, make sure you're in the domain and build landing page. It should open up another box here, another pop-up. In the top left where it said lead generation, we're going to go down to address capture. So from lead generation to address capture. And it's going to open up, and now it's very simple. For the top, there's only one hashtag to put. So I'm going to put seller. Bless you. And then where it has my broker, I'm going to double click on that and hit OK. And then I'm going to put my same message that I like to put. Okay. In the background, if you want to put a different background, you can pick any one you want. You could do villa, which is pretty. I can do income property, show money going to the bank. It doesn't matter. I'll do villa, which is a pretty one. Okay. Background. So pick seller, pick your background, and then we're going to put our message in here. Okay. And then I do the same one. This gets me a lot of listing presentations. I say, if I do not sell your home in 59, or I'll do 679, 79 days or less, I will sell it. I'll help you in a second. Sell it for free. Now that I have this message, I double click that little line underneath. I double click the white checks and I leave it just like this because this message can stand by itself. Okay, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to say this and get away with it. Okay, so this is the marketing. We're going to say, if I'll sell your home in 79 days or less, I will sell it for free. Now, to say this and get away with it, we're going to go to the Google Drive. Make sure you're in title class training number 3. And then at the top, it says seller info. And we're going to open up seller info. And if yours is in a list, I turn mine into a list. Or if it's in pictures, it doesn't matter. You're going to look for a copy of performance guarantee restrictions. It's fourth from the bottom. It's a PDF. Okay, right here, copy of performance guarantee restrictions. And I took this from a book written by Haas Pratt called The Listing Boss. Okay, this is his stuff. I just steal it and use it. He doesn't mind. He's in our same broker. So it's a hot listing boss. Okay, sample restrictions. Do you have it? You're gonna have to go here. Class training number 3. Seller info. Okay. Okay, I'll help you find it. So the reason we say people hardly ever agree to this is because they have to agree to do all these things in order to get the free seller program. Mm-hmm. So their home has to be staged professionally by a stager, and they're paying for all this. It has to be appraised before they go in the market, so you know the value, by a licensed appraiser. You have to have an inspection report done for the home, and everything on the report has to be fixed.
I won't do it.
Yeah, it has to be purchased their next home from you. So they have to sign a buyer tenant rep for a year or 2 with you while you're trying to sell their home. They have to agree to list it at the appraised value. They have to agree that the home, I only do this for homes under 500,000 because it doesn't sell otherwise quick enough. I agree to an 8 to 10% commission because you're taking a chance and you might not have to pay anything. And every 2 weeks, you can do whatever. This gives you an example. every 2 weeks, they can drop it down this much. I like to do every 2 weeks that I don't get an offer. We don't have an offer. We drop it down by 5% until we get under 20% of value. And then at that point, investors will buy it cash anyway, and you'll help the people sell it. Or whatever percent you work out to drop it. But that's what most people, but after dropping it 5% under appraised value, it usually sells pretty quick at that point because you're under the appraised value and you have instant equity in the home. Okay. So most people don't agree to this because this, as you're saying, so this is a lot of money out of pocket. This costs people money out of their pocket, and a lot of sellers don't have a lot of money. But it's just a way to get in front of people to sit down. And some people do agree to it. And if they agree to it, their home's going to sell really fast because it's clean, it's ready to go, it's appraised. You have all that posted in the additional information. It's going to go really quick. Their home's going to sell fast. They're going to be good to go. So it just depends. Sometimes people will agree to it, but very few do. So if they're like, Andrew, you're crazy, I'm not doing that, da 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 da. I'm like, that's fine. You're too smart for the free seller program. We're just going to do the smart seller program. And then I just do my regular listing presentation. And I just call it the smart seller. Because sometimes you can sell it for over appraised value. It just depends on the home market, what there is, all that. So that's the smart people that can do that. Free is that you're taking a chance that if it doesn't sell, you're taking a chance to drop the price a little bit and try to sell it quicker. So it just depends what's going to be best for your clients. So very few, this gets you a lot of listing. This ad gets you a lot of presentations, but it doesn't give you, a lot of people want to, I've never had, honestly, in 10 years, no one's ever agreed to it. For me anyway. But I have people who've used it, friends who hit it, and they have people who agree to it because they want to sell their home quicker. This will help you sell your home quicker. Now, remember we talked about those packages earlier, right?
Get them to sign that. They agree to it.
So if they agree to it, I gave you a copy of these, and this says 29-day or no pay, so you can change that. You just take one of these. This is not a legal binding document. It's just something I gave you that's written up pretty. And then you would just take it out and you'd clean it up and change it from 57-day or 59-day. And then you'd go through and clean it up, whatever you want to know, whatever you do. If this has a bunch of little spelling things wrong. So, and then you would just go down and you just fix it. And this what you could sign as a little mini agreement. This is not binding by trick or anything. So don't think this is illegal. I'm not a lawyer. This is not a legal document. It's being recorded. I'm not a lawyer. We're not practicing law. This is just something you and the agent can sign together. Okay. If you wanted to do that. But I've never had anyone agree to it because most people don't want to come up with a couple $1,000s up front. They would just rather have you pay for that by getting you a higher commission.
So this chart, the sample restrictions, do you
Yep.
copy and paste it into that ad we were doing, or?
No, I don't mention this at all.
Oh,
This is only mentioned if they say, Andrew, tell me more. How do you sell my home for free? That's great. When do you have the time to sit down together? And then I bring the sample restrictions with me and I take off the listing boss, put my information in there, and then I share it. Okay. And then I sit down and go from there and use it like that and turn it into mine, change it up so I don't steal it, but I just use very familiar. And then, like we talked about earlier with the menu of services we kind of mentioned that I showed earlier today, if you're doing something like mine was a 6, 7, 8 or 6, 8, 10, if you're doing that, if you're at that 8 or 10%, everything that we talked about in that free seller program is included in that higher commission package. So those overlap. That's why we do that. So if somebody says, oh, I would love to do this and get my home, but I don't have this kind of money, you can say, you know what? I understand. Let's look at some options we can have where I can do all that for you, but you pay a higher commission. Okay. And then that way you overcome that need or pain of not having the money by taking it yourself and getting a higher commission on the sale. All right. Because that's all stuff you can add into your packages. And this is from Greg Luther. Like I mentioned before, it's his stuff. He says, feel free to use it. And I gave you a copy of that. Then you just have to tweak it, make it yours. It is a PDF. So if you go to Canva, they have free PDF editors. You can just upload a PDF and you can change it. And it's very easy that way. The other thing I want to show you in here, it says Easy Exit copy of Easy Exit listing agreement. What this does, it lets the seller feel in control of you as an agent, and it lets them agree that they can fire you anytime they want to, which they can anyway, of course. There's no binding document, but this makes them feel they have it in writing now. See, it is, Andrew Morin's intention to work diligently da 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 da. For any reason the seller decides not to sell the property, is not satisfied, they can cancel it.
How do you work though your menu of service? It says to.
I have a cancellation fee. So they can cancel, but they have to pay the cancellation fee.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I have, a cancellation fee depending on which package they choose, because it's a lot of money I'm coming out of my own pocket. I want to make some of that back at least. So because that goes, my broker has to take their piece, I get my piece left, enough to cover what I paid. And then I come out at zero, which is okay. At least I don't come out at negative. So this is the good thing about this though, if the seller says, hey, I don't want your services anymore, it's been 6 months, da 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 da. This allows you to get the listing usually for a year. Because they think they can fire, which they can. They can fire you whenever they want, and it makes them feel in control. Because sellers, when you sell your home, it's frustrating. You put your home in the market, and sellers think the agent doesn't do anything, and when you're out there hustling, trying to get sellers, they don't see any of that. So they think I call it the sign and pray method. They think you put a sign in the yard and you pray somebody drives by. And that's what most sellers, I thought that till I became an agent. I didn't know. No, you don't know what the other side is doing until you're there in their shoes. So by doing it this way, they realize, okay, I have control. If I don't like what my agent's doing, if they're not communicating every week, if they're not telling me, I can fire them. And then gets them that condition. I've never been fired, which is great. No, knock on wood, it didn't happen. But so if it happens, but it's okay, it happens. So if that happens, they can fire me. But at that point, if it's in writing, I have 30 days from that point to get it under contract and to make it work. So this gives you an extra 30 days on the contract that you might not have otherwise, if they just fire you and pay the cancellation. Now, if they refuse to pay the cancellation, it's still an active listing in your name because they agreed in the contract, which is written by lawyers. It's a legal binding contract, but they have to pay the cancellation fee. If they refuse to do that, then it's still your listing and no one else can list it. And then it's just going to sit there and you can advertise to get buyers out of it. So that's not the best case for anybody. Hopefully they're willing to work with you and pay the cancellation fee. Okay, but sellers really like this. And it makes it so you can get a year listing at no problem. Okay. The other form I want to show you is called the 89-point marketing plan, copy of Ultimate 89-point marketing plan. Some of this is a little bit older because this is an older book I took it from, but some of it is fine. A lot of this stuff happens the instant you put it on the MLS. 90% of it does. And you can go through and use this marketing plan because a lot of agents will say, well, why would I go with you instead of Andrew? You say, well, he's a sign and pray agent. He puts a sign in the yard and prays somebody drives by. I actually have a marketing plan. And then you're going to pull out a marketing plan and give it to them. And it's right here. You can just copy this one, change it, take out the pieces you don't like, add yours to it. I just gave you a good rough draft of one. And now you have a marketing plan you can present to your clients. They don't care what the plan is. They just care that you have one. I've never had anyone say, what about number 57? You didn't do that yet. They don't care. They just want it there. And of course, all that happens automatically. So you do have to make sure you're doing these steps. And this is actually, if you don't know how to market a listing, this gives you ideas how to do that as well. And a lot of these, like it says, obviously, this will be your broker name. You're going to send just listed cards, things like that. As you're saying, Michelle, she was here. They have just listed cards they can get you. All you have to do is pay the postage. Or you can just go hang them on people's doors or put them in mail, post them, mail them in the mailboxes, or go put them in people's doors, slide them in the front door. And then all those cards are free. And then people can see the card, scan the QR code on it, boom, and then you have it. And you can design the cards with those QR codes. So this is just an easy way to get in front of people and to make it work that way is your thing. So I'm going to go back to my landing page and hit save and OK. So that's how we can get away with this, with saying if I don't sell your home in 79 days or less, I'll sell it for free. Now, if they do agree to it and they sign it and it's 79 days and it hasn't sold, you're not going to get your commission. Only the piece, like our broker would have to get 250 and that's it. So I would have to tell them, hey, I can cancel, my broker does have to take their 250 because that's the fee for that. But other than that, they would be able to list it for free. So it's just a chance you're taking as an agent. But if you do all those things in there, it's going to sell because it's already inspected, already appraised, already fixed. Everything is done. That home is going to sell and it looks really good that way. Okay. Any questions on those?
Have you had anybody with the offer of 79 days or less or not be willing to sign the price reduction?
Yeah, I don't do it. That's part of the deal.
So you lay it out in the special provision.
So here's it is right here. Now I do it right here. For the price reductions, I already have the addendums already ready. where it says, if I have the addendums already dated and ready for the reduction in prices. And they sign them right there together. And then I put in special notes, this addendum only applies if we're not under contract at this time. And then we apply it. And then I have them sign the addendum for the price reduction before we even put the listing, and they sign the listing paperwork. And then you don't have to worry about it. Yep. Because otherwise they're going to try to fight you, like you said. 2 weeks, they're going to say, no, I'm not signing that. Well, okay, you're out of the free program then.
Right.
And they're going to get mad because you just spent all that money getting the home ready, and now you're not giving them that free program. So you have to get all the addendums finished ahead of time, and they sign them all right at the 1903s. You have them all signed right at the beginning. So you don't have to ask for their permission to drop the price. You already have it agreed to.
Okay.
And that will save you the headache of them losing their mind or anything. Okay. Any other questions on that? And then, of course, once you hit save, you want to copy that link and put it in the Excel sheet right here. And then I'm just going to, put all my other good stuff in there. I would just fill it all out if I wanted to. Okay. Anyone have any questions on landing pages?